Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Now this whole situation started about a month ago, but recently people have been talking about it, and this is how I've gotten news about it, mainly because I saw Cheetos and Sensitive Society's videos, and although I'd heard about this drama, there wasn't really a need to make a video on it until I actually heard that Nickisnotgreen decided to make a video on it. Now if Nickisnotgreen isn't already known for trying to cancel people for stupid shit, I think the biggest thing Nickisnotgreen is known for is trying to get Sneeko kicked off the platform, at least when it comes to an attempt to removing people off the platform. Now anyways, Nickisnotgreen tried to do the same shit to a group called SuperMega. Now I'm gonna try and do a very quick but also somewhat detailed recap of what happened with SuperMega, that way people know. There's a much smaller YouTuber named Lex, who is friends with everyone from SuperMega, who had been sexually assaulted by a member of SuperMega. If I'm correct, his name was Dan, and quite a while later, following these events, Lex decided to make a YouTube video about it, claiming that she was no longer happy with keeping that secret, and sometime after, Matt and Ryan from SuperMega decided to respond to it, and Matt's response in and of itself helped clear up tons of things. He had so many messages to back himself up about the misunderstandings and miscommunications, as well as even taking accountability for not knowing properly how to handle the situation that he was put in, and made absolutely no excuses, fully admits he fucked up. But in short, Matt's response to Lex's video did end up answering a lot of questions that were lingering after the video she initially made. Now that's the situation if you remove the intervention, because before anyone from SuperMega could properly respond and address the other side of the situation, Nickisnotgreen swoops in to save the fucking day as usual and makes a very biased, not only biased but hateful video towards SuperMega, almost like he has a vendetta against them, and it's really clear that it's not around the idea of sexual assault, nor even defending his friend. Now Nick made a video basically addressing Lex's entire video, although a very large chunk of Nick's video was completely fucking irrelevant to the assault. Now, I'm gonna cut Nick just a small bit of slack here, although there's gonna be a massive but to this. Lex is Nick's friend. He stated that very clearly.
Today's video is going to be a little bit different than normal. It's not really about a drama or any like internet tomfoolery. It's actually a much more serious story that involves someone that I'm personally friends with.
And I can't sit here and lie and say that if my friend told me something like that, I wouldn't be pissed off. If I had a friend who told me that this happened to them, you know, and I had the chance to spread awareness about it, I would be making fun of these people. I'd be talking so much shit you wouldn't believe. Like, I would be calling that person every name under the fucking sun. But the last thing I would do is make a video and completely stray off the point of the assault just so I can throw my own insults in there and express my personal hatred for this group of people, while practically leaving the entire situation that the video is centered around completely behind. Now, I'm sorry to sound like a broken record here because everyone has been saying this, but the video was a hit piece, and that's exactly what it was. The assault was just an excuse to make a personal vendetta expressed in a video about SuperMega. Now, I'm going to show two clips from his initial video that have already been pointed out by a couple of YouTubers already, and tell me if these clips give any sort of indication that the video is centered around assault or talking about the situation at hand.
And my favorite post right here says, "Rape apologist gets what he deserves," and it shows Matt getting the absolute shit beaten out of him. Let's just let it play a couple more times. We can keep watching it. I don't think anyone minds letting this loop on repeat. We could just let this go. If you want me to do this for the rest of the video, I could. I know the boys messed up, but please credit to roast Matt Watson's music career. One person said, "There's one last thing I want to share before leaving the sub. I did not care for Matt Watson's music career." I'm pretty sure this is a Family Guy reference, but it's still, you know, let's look at the comments. I always thought everyone was just pretending to like his music. As someone who paid to go to one of his shows, I agree. Thank you. I always got downvoted in the sub for calling his music trash. Obviously, none of this has an effect on how he treats people, but of course, if his art sucks, let's fucking dunk on him. He sucks.
Like showing a clip of Matt getting punched and then talking shit about their music, where does any of that indicate that the video is about Lex's assault, or actually covering the details of what happened and picking things apart? Also, a little bit before these clips, he was also like diving into some subreddits about their past relationships, which again also had nothing to do with this shit. Like, you had people in the comments even calling it out, saying like, hey, all of this information is very fucking irrelevant. Like, what are you doing? So it's not far-fetched to say that Nick used his friend's assault as fuel to take out his personal anger on SuperMega. You know, that wouldn't really be a problem if he stuck to the topic and also had both sides explained. I think at this point, too many people have stroked Nick's ego because he's made so many videos calling out creators and trying to get them kicked off their platform. And since so many people have actually listened to him and just like had herds go to their channels and harass these people, Nick has developed this idea that he can do no wrong. And I'll explain that in the clips of his next video, which he kind of concludes his reasoning for doing all of this. And it's not a good fucking reason, I don't even have to say that. And towards the end of his video, it's like he wants to admit he's wrong, but almost immediately it's like his ego is like, no, they need to know you're the savior of women on the internet. You have to back it up, okay? Say something different. Anyways, I'll show a series of clips and talk about those from his video that he followed up after SuperMega's response.
And obviously, I believe her word. There is no way where I would look at that situation and hear her story and do people think that just legitimately she just wants to outright lie about the way they treated her for no reason? I don't really understand where people are coming from when they call me a liar with an agenda and they call her a liar with an agenda.
Yeah, believe it or not, but people have and will continue to lie on the internet. Even if she didn't, there's been so many cases that should really give you an idea that this is a very common thing that happens. Like, let's start with fucking Pyrocynical. Those allegations were fucking false. They were lies. Or like, I mean, like the most recent situation with Quite. Those allegations were lies. Like, the way Nick thinks kind of reminds me of this post I saw on Twitter, which actually was related to the Quiet situation. This person goes, "I hate when people always want evidence on rape allegation accusations. Why would anyone lie about shit like that? There's other content creators that you can enjoy. I hope you stand with the victim, not the abuse." Like, take 1 second to think about how fucking stupid that sounds. Why would people do it is a great question, but it doesn't take away from the fact that people still do it in general. So putting on this like surprised face and going, why do people think other people would lie on the internet about something serious? Like, that's not gonna save your own ass. In fact, I'm almost certain that he's being dishonest here, because who doesn't know people lie on the internet?
There was a lot of carelessness that snowballed into a problem that got too big for them to handle very quickly. At the very best, these aren't evil guys. They're just really, really dumb, and they don't really deserve to have the company and the team and the platform that they have with the way that they've handled it.
And this clip bothers me so fucking much, because Nick straight up, like, indirectly admits that it was just a massive form of miscommunication and misunderstanding, basically discrediting his entire last video that he made on them. Also even saying that practically that entire video was slander because he didn't have any evidence. Which, again, he claimed all of that was true, especially the whole idea of SuperMega covering up the assaulter's story. I'm sure most people can see that being a huge misunderstanding on Lex's part, but as for Nick not having the other side of the story, especially as someone from a third party and not directly coming from the situation itself, he should never even have made that video in the first place. And then having the balls to actually say that they don't deserve a platform right after disproving his entire last video and essentially admitting that everything he said was wrong. It's like, pull your thumb out of your fucking ass. With that logic of irresponsibility, you shouldn't have a platform either. It's like Nick is so far in his own head, he doesn't realize how his own logic applies to himself.
But I do want to reflect on my original video and say that I do think I made a bit of a mistake, including Morgue Pie and laid in stories in that particular video. I wanted my video only to be about Lex's story, and I got caught up in context that I personally thought was important and necessary for the story.
Here's the part where I mean that he's almost admitting that he's wrong. It's like, yeah, I kind of messed up, but guys, come on. Showing a clip for like 30 seconds straight of Matt getting punched in the face was important to the story. So was me making fun of his music and talking about their ex-girlfriends. Like, honestly, drop the fucking facade. The only thing more frustrating than YouTubers putting on this fake mask of like morality is actually expecting people to believe it when shit doesn't go their way. I genuinely think that Nick thinks his audience is full of fucking idiots to outright say that he thought he was adding important details and then expects people to believe that. Like, people see right through your bullshit, dude. I would respect Nick so much more if he just outright said, I let my personal emotions get in the way of the video and the actual main point of it, and I apologize for that. But Nick goes, you know, I kind of strayed off, but guys, okay, like, it was important, okay? In my personal opinion, it was important, okay? And then, like, again, like, doubles down and says that they should be removed from the platform because they were irresponsible. So even though the video was supposed to be about SuperMega's response, it was mostly just to cover his own ass for his last fuck up.
You know, despite that, I've still received several comments on the original video claiming that I put out my video about Lex without waiting for SuperMega to respond, and that I was taking a side before hearing everybody's sides. And I thought I made this clear before, but of course, I'm going to take the side of a personal friend of mine when she comes out with a story about her own sexual assault. This isn't like an online, like normal thing where I look at all the facts and I make a decision. No. My friend was assaulted and never felt like she was able to be heard.
See, the first half of this clip, I can agree with. If I have a close friend coming up to me and explaining to me that they were assaulted and they trust me with that information, I'm gonna take it to heart and I'm gonna believe them. Yeah, naturally I will. I think it's a natural thing to do. Like, even without evidence, if your friend comes up and tells you that, it's a natural thing to do. I understand that. It's an entirely different story to make a video and post it online without that evidence and claim that as fact. Not to mention having a platform with hundreds of thousands of subscribers, especially with the potential to reach millions of people. It's just mind-boggling seeing someone be so confident after being so incredibly wrong. Nick is so obsessed with trying to prove to everyone that he can do no wrong that it interjects with his ability to own up to shit. Honestly, that's all I got. If you guys enjoyed, thank you for watching and come back for the next.